And welcome everybody to Boca Ben Live with Boca Ben and
Melanie.
Melanie. Awesome. So we've got some really pretty cool topics to discuss today. I'm always looking for controversy because I don't post anything controversial on Twitter. So anything I say is only on Boca Ben Live. I hint at things. I
don't know
hint
if
at
I
where I
agree with
stand.
that one. I've seen
That's
some
true.
comments that I
That's
was
true.
like, "Ooh, Ben,
I did post
I'm
a
not gonna
Ron
like that."
DeSantis t-shirt. Yeah. That's true. Sometimes I do. Okay, so
You don't make spicy posts, just comments.
yeah, and things that disappear. Yeah, exactly. All right,
So
I got.
like Ben to see his comments.
Yeah, it's true. I'm such a hypocrite like that. I'll never post, but I'll make the comments. Yeah,
Me too. It feels safer when it's not
yeah, it
your
does.
post.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about TwitchCon.
Twitchcon.
Let's start with TwitchCon. Okay, so TwitchCon is coming up. This is
This
the first
weekend. Yeah.
this weekend. It's the first TwitchCons since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
We had TwitchCon Amsterdam in July. Now
Mm-hmm.
TwitchCon San Diego this weekend. So what are you hearing? And then we'll talk about vaccine policy after. That's all I'm ever interested in.
I mean, I'm only hearing positive things. Everybody's excited to get to go. I think everyone's tired of being stuck, and like they've had a chance if they are like a frequent con goer. They've gone to PAX, they've gone to all these other ones, and so now they're kind of getting their con legs back, and like they're just all really excited. Somebody posted like, "Everyone on my plane is going to TwitchCon. This is so fun!" So I think there's a general excitement, which kind of surprised me because on the other hand, I feel like Twitch has kind of been on the like negative side of media
Yeah.
here recently with like some of the payment decisions and just like what was it, the gambling decision. Like there's been some things that people have not liked. So it's like everybody doesn't care because they're just so excited to go to TwitchCon at this point. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a feeling of I'm going to TwitchCon for the people, not
Yeah.
because I support Twitch.
Yes.
But everyone's on Twitch. And then we're united in our disdain for the platform. Right? Honestly,
Yeah.
if they were going to cut the top streamers splits from 70-30 to 50-50 after the first 100,000, that was the recent announcement. They should have totally done that after TwitchCon, right? Like the day after announced, oh, by the way, top streamers, we're cutting your cut from 70 to 50. Love you, Twitch. You know.
That's true. That's true. I wonder if they make any money off cons. I feel like cons aren't necessarily a money maker.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Tickets were very reasonable. I think it started at like $130 for a weekend pass. So that's, to me, seems reasonable. So yeah, I don't think they're going to make too much money off it. I think it's for sure community building first.
Yeah. So maybe it was good to do it after announcement. They're like plummet, and then everyone's like, "Yay, TwitchCon!"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're all in it together. Yeah, that's a good point. And the other platforms don't have a dedicated con the way Twitch does.
Yeah. And everybody's always excited about TwitchCon. So
yeah. Why doesn't YouTube do a big con? I mean, they probably do, but I mean for gamers.
I don't know. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Come on, YouTube.
So we looked at the health policy for TwitchCon. So it is masking indoors, which I don't really. How do you feel about that when events are have a mask policy?
Okay, so from being an elementary teacher, I think people are disgusting. So whether it's the pandemic and like COVID or just general germs, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of cool with it.
Yeah. I'm actually surprisingly going to say that in a way, not me personally, but as a policy, I'm way more okay with masking versus vax. Because masking, it works. It does stop. If the goal is to stop the spread, masks work. That's a fact. Yeah. But to say that someone who has a double vax is less likely to transmit versus someone who doesn't at this stage of the game, in my opinion, is not science. So I'm less okay with requiring vaccinations, even but luckily Twitch is offering to just test negative 72 hours before, which is a reasonable accommodation.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that topic, let's talk, because I'm always curious about what events are going to do for vaccination. So
Yeah.
a big challenge in esports, let's start with esports, is that Canada and United States were not allowing unvaccinated people, if you're not a citizen, to go to that country. So if you're an unvaccinated Canadian, you couldn't get into the US. If you're an unvaccinated American, you can't get into Canada. Yeah, that's been the policy up until now. Esports world has lived with it. It is what it is. We did a big event in Toronto for Valorant, and some players couldn't come. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But WoW does money talk, okay? And I have never seen
Every time
a coincidence of money talking with a vaccine policy than this. Okay, so ready for this.
I'm excited. Yeah. Buckle up.
So Canada, up until September 30th, had their vaccination policy in place. No American could come to Canada without a vaccine. Now, there's one sports league that does actually have a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, probably less than 5%, maybe even less than 2% of players are unvaccinated. And that's Major League Baseball, okay? And some teams are much higher than others. And during the regular season, the player couldn't go. You couldn't travel to Canada with the team. And Canada didn't care. They still said, too bad. If you're a member of the Kansas City Royals and you're unvaccinated, you're not coming. So they didn't change that policy. But lo and behold, the Blue Jays made the playoffs. And right at the same time that the Blue Jays made the playoffs, Canada announced that they were removing the vaccination mandate. Now, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist and say this was all because of that. It was going to expire September, October. No, it was going to expire sooner than later. But I'm 100% sure that the commissioner of Major League Baseball sent a message to Canada saying, if players can't compete in the playoffs, we're not holding games in Canada. 100% that happened. 100%.
Yeah.
And they changed it. And I think it's remarkable.
Yeah, and I just feel like everybody is to the point too where they're like okay with things expiring and like moving on and trying to make it work. I do believe money talks. I've worked in startups. Like, don't worry, money is important.
And competitive integrity, right? Like, if one team could only field 98% of their players because of COVID, you would have that discussion of whether it's fair.
Yeah.
So just want to throw that out. That
I do like when people use competitive integrity as somebody who's been in esports, and I'm like, that's like your like Band-Aid reason. There's other reasons under it. That was the eyebrow raise of like, go ahead, Ben, talk about competitive integrity to me.
Yes, exactly. Because, no one else could do that. No one could twist Justin Trudeau's arm. Even thousands of truckers, like putting Ottawa under siege. Nah, we're good. We're going to continue. But man, does Rob Manfred's phone call to say, if you don't change the policy, you're
allegedly. You're making the assumption.
I'm making the assumption that Rob Manfred, the commissioner, sent a message saying, if you don't change the policy, you're playing your games in Buffalo. And they're like, okay. And hey, listen. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think entertainment and sports tend to have, which is weird to me, tend to have more power in that way too, like over like works, the average workman, right? So over the semi truck drivers and over like that kind of stuff for some reason, at least in the US, because, being from the US, I feel like you just grow up like sports is number one, especially like from the South, right? Football's number one. Like the whole entire high school will like change its schedule and do all it can to make sure the football team can do things. So it's like, to me, it's also that. It's just not as surprising because for some crazy reason, and if anybody has a reason why and they can explain it to me, love to hear it. Maybe not really, but if you can type it in like a tweet worth of context, I might read it. But it's just a thing. I don't know if Canada's the same way.
Yeah, but I will say money talks in the other direction as well. So
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins, who plays on the Golden State Warriors, they said to him, he said he had a religious exemption, and they're like, no way, bud, too bad. And they said, if you're not vaccinated, you're going to be suspended. You're going to lose your salary. And you know what Andrew Wiggins, a man of tremendous principle, said to that? Which arm? Money talks. His salary. Hey, Kyrie Irving is the only one that refused, but everyone, when faced losing their salary, is like, all right, I guess I'll get it.
Yeah.
All right.
We like our money. What can I say? Money's nice.
Totally.
I like to buy stuff.
I love money. Love how money talks. Love how money. Yeah.
Everybody wants to donate money to Boca Pen Live for us. I would not deny.
Hopefully there'll be a tip option at some point. Okay.
Yes.
Let's think of a good transition to story number 2, which is
money. Everybody loves money. Activision Blizzard has been. You have the actual story. I'm a slacker with my email. But AB was found to withhold wages from people that were in unions. Can you kind of give us more detail?
Yeah, that they were not promoting. So this is from the labor board. I guess it's it's the National Labor Board. Okay, so they launched an investigation and found that at AB, raises were withheld from quality assurance testers at its subsidiary Raven, which was the one that was going to unionize, or did unionize, or is. I can't remember. Because of based on their vote to unionize earlier this year. So basically, they are punishing employees who were pro-union or union activists.
That's awkward.
That is extremely awkward when you are trying to complete a $90 billion, $80 billion merger and you're being investigated. I think this is it. This is the death knell.
I don't hear anything else about the merger anymore. I don't know if you do, if everyone just like put a pause and just be like, AB, you're crazy.
I mean, if I was Microsoft, I'd 100% cancel it now. The stock's going to plummet. Let them. But then the other thing is, it's hard to buy it again once you call it off. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't hear any whispers of whether they're doing anything. So maybe they're just kind of like, we'll just wait. We're not going to say no. We're not going to say yes. It's pending investigation. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big no to withhold promotions and wages. I don't know how you can prove that. So if it was in an email or a phone call, or if they just do it by trends, we noticed that the people who voted yes are the only ones not getting these benefits.
Yeah, exactly. They could cross-reference the employees that they'd asked the employees, where did you vote in this investigation? And then they cross-reference that with the people that were withhold a raise for whatever reason. And they can make that
assumption.
Yeah. Make that conclusion based on that.
Okay. Like that. I feel like money goes into the next one too. This is our last story. It's Nadeshot and his drink. What was it?
Juvie, which is short for rejuvenation.
Oh, now that I started to read it and I was like, Juvie, that is not what I think of when we've talked about Juvie. I don't know about Canadians, but that means going to jail as a young minor.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he's got an energy drink, and I think you made a good point in our pre-show that it's not 100 Thieves making it; it's Nadeshot.
Yeah. So again, check out Nadeshot's Twitter. I really appreciated the sort of the founding story about why he created it and how he created it. And yes, that was probably written by a very savvy marketing agency. I'm not naive, but then when I read a little bit deeper, I was curious to say this sounds like it's a Nadeshot venture with maybe some other members. But if you go to 100 Thieves site, front and center, 100 Thieves is promoting it. And so it just got me kind of thinking of, where's that line between Nadeshot has his own personal brands that he promotes, and the team, and is there conflict? So that, again, if I'm an investor of 100 Thieves, is Nadeshot kind of double dipping by taking an extra ownership stake in this company that he has founded with other members versus this being a 100 Thieves type of project?
Yeah.
That's the question.
And I thought of it as the opposite. I'm like, oh, they're like grabbing at straws to make money. So they're like, how can we bolster? And I just assumed that because they've had all the layoffs and different things happening. So I was like, oh, they're just trying to sustain themselves somehow. You can't live on VC money forever.
Yeah, that's a good point. It diversifies their portfolio. Like FaZe is an owner of Control V, right? So has an ownership stake in. So I think it's a great play to diversify your holdings outside of esports into CPG. And the other is to say, hey, why am I promoting Red Bull, G Fuel, whatever?
Exactly.
We should just have that. And I think,
yeah,
that's where private label brands, that's where it comes from, is why should Walgreens keep selling this brand when they could just make their own and just put a Walgreens logo on it?
I do know sometimes, and I don't know with like Esports Orgs, but like with some companies, you end up making two separate companies, or you might have like a parent company on that one just because of like legal reasons. And so I'm wondering too if like it might look more Nadeshot-y because the legal of like 100 Thieves owning something. So that's like they might not own it, but they're still affiliated. Like coming from Northwest Arkansas, Walmart does this all the time. There's like Walmart Industries, but then there's this bank called Arvest, and they're like, oh no, we don't run our own Arvest, even though like all their people are board members, right? It's so that they can make money and do their things separately, but they're still the same people controlling it all. And that's how I kind of see it, is like they're having to probably legally separate it, but then maybe it still comes back to the same pot.
Yeah. I also think it might maybe tie into, do you remember when Valkyrie launched Reflect, that makeup line?
That was sad.
Is that how you pronounce Valkyrie?
I think so, yeah.
Ray.
Yeah.
Launched Reflect, and the whole story behind Reflect was that the sun, it was makeup that prevents blue light damage to your skin. And a lot of people are like, never heard of it. And the science was very, very crazy and
questionable,
not transparent about what's going on. And like the whole thing blew up, and like, this is like product on the shelf, like everything had to be removed.
Yeah.
And so maybe 100 Thieves is kind of saying maybe some of these big things that creators are launching themselves are going to come from the org, or just done differently.
Yeah, that's true. Because then if it fails, it's not 100 Thieves; it's the influencer. Yeah.
But
I think it's tricky though. Kind of like what we talked about with Ocelot last week, is like it just is so hard when your personal brand is so entwined with like a business brand, and so it's really hard to separate sometimes. So if Nadeshot does anything, it's going to impact 100 Thieves. So it's just hard. Like even if it was completely his, it would be hard to separate it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I spent about 10-15 minutes on their website, and I could not find an ingredient list.
I don't like that.
Isn't that weird? And again, it said it has this, it has that, and the nutritional information, but like I actually wanted to see the ingredients in the can, and I couldn't find it in 10 minutes. Maybe it's there, but to me, that's a major red flag. Like, what the hell is in this drink? And why can't you just be transparent with what are the ingredients that make Juvie so good, right?
I can't take the title seriously.
Juvie. Yeah. I know, it is weird.
Yeah. I don't like it when brands don't have an ingredients list.
Yeah.
So who knows? Speaking of, so I do have a brand that I absolutely love, that I just love following. If anybody's into marketing and they're into like drinks, I love following Liquid Death. They
Yeah.
have an amazing marketing team. Like, oh my gosh. They
Yeah.
just released something with Martha Stewart, and it's really cool.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Um, I had Liquid Death once, and then I actually was going
Yeah.
through a period about 2 months where I wasn't drinking alcohol. Needed a cleanse, and I was at a concert, and I just ordered a water, and instead of like having a water bottle, I had a Liquid Death, and like I felt like I was holding a beer. I kind of felt more
Right?
part of the group, even though I'm just drinking. Not that I care, like but it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun to drink out of a can. I felt more like I was drinking a beer, but I didn't want to have a beer,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
they're
I was okay
fun.
paying $5 for a bottle of water.
Yeah. And it's not a bottle, it's a can. So that's
Can,
their other thing is death to
yeah,
plastic.
yeah.
You're going to quench your thirst, or you're going to murder your thirst.
Murder your
And
thirst. Yeah.
yeah, I think I have a little like, so they were in the same startup incubator that Play Versus was. So we watched them explode. We were all jealous because it's like they were there and then they were successful. It was insane. But I just like, if you're into marketing, if you're into like branding, like they're just doing such a good job. Like I literally bought, I didn't want to buy it, but I was like, I'm going to buy this drink just because I want to support this marketing brand. um, so I do like that. So I know that was like a big leap, but I just watched the Martha Stewart one and I was just like, oh, that's so funny. So
Yeah.
good. And
But
I
does
think they had like
yeah.
a Super Bowl commercial too, which was impressive. They got a lot of heat for it because it was like making kids look like they were like drinking and partying, but it was water the whole time. But
Oh yeah.
I thought it was clever.
But I guess, does the brand have enough value to really carry it past the novelty of water in a can,
They have
Like,
flavored ones too. The flavor, so now it's also like carbonated flavor water.
right. But
It
now,
tastes good.
Corona can have, Corona water
Oh,
and just
Dasani's already, yeah, doing canned water. I saw it at
right.
PAX, and I was like, those stinkers
So the market
stealing
will
liquid
get,
death idea.
yeah, it's going to get very saturated, that market, and does like a one trick pony like Liquid Death. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
they
think,
probably get bought out, honestly, by a big brand, and then it
yeah,
does fine.
yeah.
That's usually the goal.
Either they'll be bought out or Corona. Again, I see the beer companies just being like, oh, great. Well, we're already sending all these cases to all these festivals and concert halls and venues.
Hmm.
Now we're going to offer our water, and then they'll shove Liquid Death out of the market just with their power. They'll say, "Too
I
bad,
hope not.
carry my water, or you're not getting my beer," and then Liquid
Yeah,
Death is fucked. That's how I
yeah.
can see it playing out.
The branding is just so good. I would hate for that to happen,
Yeah, but
but
you're right. Maybe they'll buy them out.
yeah, that's the hope. All the startups hope.
Yeah,
Please buy some.
I'm an investor in Psychedelic Water.
I don't know what that is.
It's have you ever heard of kava?
No.
So there are several plant roots based in the South Pacific area
Mm-hmm.
that supposedly have some of the similar properties as alcohol, like that
Hmm.
sort of getting drunk without the side effects. And
Mm-hmm.
so psychedelic water is one of probably many now that provide kava and kratom. These are different roots in beverages.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
we'll see. Hopefully they get bought out. All right.
Maybe Dasani will buy them.
Yeah.
Who owns Dasani? Is that Coca-Cola now? I think it's
It's
Coca-Cola.
Coke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do have 270 people watching.
Hi everyone. No one's commenting.
I don't know. It's usually
I'm
only when I
hurt.
mention Andrew Tate that does that happen, but
Oh, awkward.
Andrew Tate, yeah. Oh, it just went up. Andrew Tate.
We're not
Okay.
fans.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all we got today.
Yeah. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Hopefully we'll be back next Thursday, because next week and the week after there are 4 Jewish holidays, and they're all Monday, Tuesday, and they're both Monday, Tuesday.
Okay. I need like education. Do I say happy before all of them if I write them out?
You can say
Happy whatever.
Happy Sukkot
Okay.
and the other one's really hard to say. Just forget it. Don't try. Simchat
But how am I
Torah.
supposed to support support. How do I show support as a non-Jewish person? And I'm like, yay, you and your traditions.
Yeah, it's like these my kids made them at school. These are decorations for the last holiday, which was Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. And Yom Kippur came, and that's a holiday where you ask for forgiveness. And my son, who's 6, wrote, "Dear Daddy," which he doesn't call me Daddy. I guess their teachers just made them write that. "I'm very sorry for stealing candy." And I was like, "Oh my God, it's so cute." Because he'll go to someone's house, and like as soon as he knows where their snacks are kept, their candy, he just goes and takes it. He doesn't ask the parents. If he knows, he takes it.
Nice. He would hate hanging out with us because we keep like no candy in the house.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I hate Melanie. No, she doesn't have candy because I'll eat
No,
it. I'm that
no,
person.
no, not at all. I wish we had less candy. It's just there's too many of them and not enough of us. So
That's true.
that's
Just
what it comes down
one,
to. Yeah.
it gets uneven, and I just secretly throw it away.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what happened to all this candy that you don't eat.
Yeah.
Our
what do you
problem
do?
too is he has a nut allergy, so there's a lot of candy he just can't eat. So then,
And so what do you do for Halloween?
I don't know what we're doing. We've
Do you
done
trick or treat?
yeah, we've done like trunk or treat type stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. No plans yet.
No plans. Okay.
I'd like to do more like seasonal things rather than like all make it one night. So like we'll go to a pumpkin patch. We've already we decorated the house a little early this year. So we did like Halloween crafts and things like that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I really miss the 4 seasons. Well, you don't have 4 seasons either, right?
No, I miss them too. No.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's a little chilly here. I had to wear long sleeves this morning, so
Oh, not here.
fallish.
Not here. It doesn't move the needle.
It's chilly. It's like in the 60s. And I'm like, it's so cold.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what it is in Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's 84 here. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't even, there's no day this week where it even dips below 70 at night.
Wow. Pretty.
Our one season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways.
Anyway.
Next Thursday
we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great day.